Okay, as we go along, if you have questions, you can either just turn your mic on and go ahead and ask, or type them into the chat window, whichever you prefer is fine. Um, let's see. I usually ask if you have any questions from last week, but none of you were here last week. I have a whole different set of people this week from last week from the week before, which is unusual, but that's okay. Um, all of the recordings are on my Qualtrics page, and let me put that in the chat window for you. So if you go here and you scroll all the way down, you see workshops. Last week's and the week before are in there if you want to catch up. And as you can tell, there's a whole bunch of other things you might be interested in at some point. Um, I also have my outline notes that I sort of mostly kind of go from as I do these classes. And so today we are doing what I call question and answer customization because I can't think of anything else to call it. Um, and this is a way of doing some, I guess, more advanced kinds of things than just, regular questions. I'm just asking a question and moving on. Um, The first thing is what Qualtrics calls carry forward. As you can see, I've already made some questions here, so we can save a little bit of time. Um, Carry forward is used when you want to ask a follow-up question based on a respondent's answer to a previous question. So, as you can see here, the first question is pick your three favorite ice cream flavors. And then the next one is of those, meaning the three that they picked, which is your most favorite? Now, the ones that you did not pick, which is your least favorite? So, of course, you want to know in question two here what their three favorite flavors were. And that's called carry forward. And so you click on the question that you want to populate with the other answers. Then you scroll down over here on the left to carry forward. It gives you this pickup pop-up box, dialog box. Um, Now it shows you the questions that come after it as well, which doesn't help. You can't carry forward from something that has not happened yet. Um, but this will work. And then you can, usually you're going to use selected choices, but you can also use unselected. Uh, Displayed and not displayed are choices that you can, that respondents see or don't see. We're going to be doing display and skip logic next week. So that'll make a little bit more sense next week, but it works the same. And all choices, why you would you know, carry forward everything. You can just repeat the question. That might be a little bit easier. But for right now, we're going to do selected choices and confirm. And you see now it populated down here with all the choices from up here. So we'll come down to question 7 and we'll do the opposite. We'll say unselected choices. We can go up here to preview, which is very convenient. and pick your three favorite flavors. I'm going to do vanilla, ghost pepper, and caribou slobber, which is actually a craft beer. Click next. Now you see it chose just the three that I selected, and those are the only ones that you get. And so we can say ghost pepper. And go to next. And now it shows the ones that we did not pick. And let's say vanilla. And it goes on to the next questions, which we're going to do in a moment. So as you can see, this is really quite helpful. And you can carry forward again. So you can keep carrying forward. Of course, you need a lot of original responses because things get filtered out depending on how you're doing it. So that's a pretty straightforward kind of thing, but you can see where this could be pretty powerful. Are there any questions about that? Yeah, it's a pretty easy one. The next thing is called piping.
I have
And
a quick
piping,
question about the carry forwarding.
yes.
When you say you can keep carrying forward, does that mean like from the original question where you had multiple selections, you can carry forward to a different question? Or just what does it mean to be able to keep carrying forward?
Um, so let's do this. I'm going to change this one just a little bit from a one answer to allow multiple answers. Then I'll come down here. Let's say and we'll do can do carry forward from over here. No, you can. Sometimes you get the same options back and forth. So it automatically picks up the question right before, but you can do question two of those, which is your favorite, and selected choices. And we'll do preview. Now I'm just going to say chocolate and ghost pepper. And see now it asks chocolate and ghost pepper.
Okay, perfect. And I like that example.
So you can kind of drill down and you can still, if I wanted to, say this is the last one here. I can come over here and edit. And I can still go back to the first question and I'm just going to say all choices. It'll look kind of funny. But any question that comes before, see now you see all the original ones are there because I said show everything. So, you can, kind of drill down from the first question, or you can just keep basing things off that first question, whatever makes sense for what you're doing. Any other questions about carry forward? Okay, piping. Um, it's a little hard to explain, but once you see it in action, you'll see how really cool it can be. Piping is a method of creating dynamic text, either in the question itself or in the available responses, based on information gathered in the survey, um, or even external to it, which will make more sense in a moment. Like from a contact list or directory that you might have, or survey metadata. So here I have two basic questions. What is your height and what is your weight? Uh, Anticipating asking somebody's, um, calculating their BMI. Now I had meant to erase this. I'm going to do it now. Pretend you didn't see any of this. Um, so your height is, you come to piped text here. Since we're pulling it from a previous question, you come down to survey question and you see all the questions that are available. And, you'll see all the other ones up here, but we're going to do, what is your height? Question text is exactly that. It's going to be, what is your height? But what you want is actually the answer to that question. And you get this weird kind of tag in there. You see QID 4, because that's question 4 and the text entry value. And we'll do the next one. What is your weight? Now, just for funsies, we'll go ahead and just click through these. I'm just going to type in anything. You see how it displays this, the entries that I made in those text boxes. You can also do mathematical operations, and in a lot of ways, this is where the real utility of this can be. And of course, I just typed this in here. So to do these operations, it's a little bit tricky. And so you would want to get the height through a couple of spaces and get the weight. Now, when you're doing these operations, you have to make some edits to what's here. So what I really suggest is, rather than doing it right in here, let's copy and paste it into something else. Notepad, Word. I'm going to do it into a Google Doc. Then you have to edit this so that it looks like this. This is all on that outline. And so once you do that, then you can come in and copy that. And then change there. And let's take a look. And this, I just did an average between these two. That's obviously not the correct formula for calculating BMI, but just as an example. So, you can display this information to your respondent. The thing about this method right here is that your respondent will see it, it will be displayed in the survey, but once they've finished the survey and submitted the whole thing, this calculation disappears. It is not saved with the data. Of course, the height and weight is saved with the data, so you can always, download the data into Excel or SPSS, whatever else you want to use, and calculate it there. And that's perfectly okay. But just so that you know, this disappears and it can't be used again later in the survey. So, you calculate the person's BMI, you might want to ask one set of questions for people who are under a certain BMI and different questions for people who are over a certain BMI. If you want to do that, then you have to use what's known as embedded data. We're going to look more at embedded data when we do survey flow, but just to take a quick, since we're talking about this, I'm going to delete that, just so you can see. Just has a little, you can always toggle questions and see what questions are in that block. And then you can come to add below. You'll see there's a bunch of stuff, and when we do survey flow, we're going to go through these. Right now, we're just going to do embedded data. And give it a name, we'll call it BMI. Then value will be set from panel URL, or set a value now is what you want to do in this instance. You can either just type in a value and that's the value for everybody, or you click this little drop down and you get insert pipe text, which is the same options that you have that we saw on the other screen. And again, we'll pull these in. As you can see, this little box is really difficult to do any kind of editing in. So that's why I recommend doing it here. This is a lot easier to see. Qualtrics is very picky about the spacing with all of these. And so sometimes you get a little bit wrong and you get errors. And so it's a lot easier to edit here and then just copy it back into the box. You can make other fields here. As I say, we'll be doing more of that. Come down and click apply. And go back to the editor. Now go to pipe text Now this time though, we're going to do embedded data field. Come over here and you click on the drop down. You see BMI. And there's all these other ones that you can get. And as I say, we'll talk about that when we really get into embedded data. Click there, insert, and you see one of these funny little fields. Yeah, doesn't matter. Just click through. And you see now we have the same value. This embedded data field, when you download your data later on, or even look at it in the data analysis tab or results and reports, this field, BMI, will be available to use to make charts in Qualtrics, or when you download it, you will already have that field calculated. Whereas if you just do it this way, as I say, it's good for displaying to your respondent, but once they click through, it disappears. And of course, with the BMI, with the embedded data field, you can then use that in later, excuse me, questions. And also use it, again, as I say, when we do survey flow, you can do branching so that, the example I said, if you have a set of questions for people who are under a BMI and different questions for somebody who's over a BMI, this is what you would need to use. Are there any questions about that? I kind of went through that a little quickly. But we'll be using more of all of these as we go along in the following weeks. Just looking at my notes here. That's really all I had planned for today. If you have any other questions about what we've done today, or if you have questions about Qualtrics in general that you've been dying to have answered, please go ahead and ask.
The other sessions you've done of these trainings, those recordings are posted somewhere for us to watch?
Yes, there, if you see in the chat window, the researchguides.library on that page, which is this one. Can you see this web page?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so all the workshops are posted here. So this was the first one, this was last week's. This one, as you can see from the date, is from last year, and it's pretty much the same as this year. There weren't many changes, or really any, to this part of Qualtrics. So usually I try to get these posted the next day, which would be tomorrow, Friday, but I won't be in tomorrow or Monday. So today's will be posted on Tuesday, but of course you're here. So you got the benefit of the class, and the previous ones, as I say, are here. Yeah, there really weren't any changes to this part of Qualtrics, and that's one of the things about Qualtrics is they don't really do versions. I've been using it, what, maybe 10 years or close to it. And since then, there have been really only maybe two major updates. They usually just roll out new features or update current features as they become available, as you know, they work, which is kind of a double-edged sword. One, it's nice because you get a lot of new features coming fairly regularly, but they don't necessarily tell you that something's going to change. And it's happened, I'm working on something in the morning, I go off to lunch and I come back and now a certain feature works a little bit differently, which can be a bit frustrating, but I actually kind of prefer getting the new updates and the new stuff as they become available. Any other questions? Okay, then. I will hopefully see all of you back here next week, next Thursday, same time, same place. If you have any questions in between, feel free to rattle my cage and we can get together and figure it out. All right. Thank you, everyone.